Say, kids, what time is it?
Hey everybody, Keith here. I'm on the road making a hotel video. It's been a while, so actually before I get into the video itself, I just want to explain why people keep asking, people are writing me on Twitter and whatnot, asking if I'm okay, because I'll do a couple videos and then I'll vanish for a while and then I'll do a couple videos. Just a quick background without getting too personal. I'm self-employed in the media production uh, uh, trade, and my schedule is very hectic from at time to time, and it's also very sporadic from time to time. Where I think I have a week free, and within a 24 to 48 hour span, that goes away. And this month, I've been traveling a lot. I've been sent all over the place, and more trips to come. So. Looks like things are really not only getting back to normal, they're exploding back to normal. So I'll do the best I can in between to keep up, and I'm sure because I did a whole series of run-ups to the Star Trek: The Motion Picture Director's Edition, people are probably wondering what I think. So I have a morning free here, and I decided to put on my Enterprise shirt and tell you what I think because I did have April 5th free, and I watched it twice. The first time I watched it on a 4K TV. I streamed it off Paramount Plus on a 4K 55-inch monitor, and it looked just stunning to me. And then that evening, I decided to screen it on my home theater, which I purchased back in 2007. I got a good work contract, and I celebrated by actually buying a projector and a screen, and at the time 5.1 surround system, which I've since changed to 7.1, and also upgraded the projector. It's not 4K though, but even at 1080 on that projector, that big, it was amazing. So I just want to kind of get into it now and talk about it a little bit. What else can you say? I mean, the history of Star Trek: The Motion Picture is absolutely incredible, and thinking it's maybe a documentary idea. Robert Meyer Burnett, I don't know if you stumble on this video, but you, Mark Altman, we should maybe think about something like this. It's an incredible story. If you haven't gotten the Art of Star Trek: The Motion Picture by Jeff Bond, I suggest you get that. I suggest you get Mark Altman's book, The 50-Year Mission. Yeah, it's just anyway. It's a sordid story, and the bottom line is the film landed in theaters on December 7th, 1979, basically not finished. The fact that it was cohesive at all is incredible. Some of the screenings were delayed because prints were reported to be still wet when they went out. They were cobbling this thing together at the last minute. Jerry Goldsmith was scoring it up to the last minute, up to 10 days before, scoring a lot of the scenes with nothing, just guessing what was supposed to be there on the screen. It was, it wasn't color timed right, and it was just an incredible undertaking. And a lot of that is because they hired a company named Robert Abel and Associates to do the special effects, and after about a year, Abel had basically nothing. I think all he had that remained used in the final cut was some of the wormhole stuff, but I could be wrong about that. Anyway, memory started to go. I'm getting old. So the first thing I noticed when I put it on is not only that the color timing is amazing, and I found out that someone I know was part of that team, Alexis von Hertman. That's awesome. Congrats. But what I've heard from, and I really suggest that you go listen to the latest Inglorious Trexperts episode with Darren Doctorman, discussing how the special effects team was able to find all of the original elements that were shot, but they didn't have time to actually composite. So in this, for instance, this shot here, in the theatrical cut, it's the Enterprise in the space dock. There's no Earth behind it. So Darren and the guys found the Earth stuff and the model work, and just they composited it. So just to give little touches like that into the film, it's just The color timing is phenomenal. I mean, I've never seen this look so good. They warmed up the skin tones. The original cut was very blue, very icy. Not It still doesn't have a whole lot of saturation in it, like because the color palette of the uniforms themselves is very muted. So a lot of the character stuff, the palette's very muted, but uh, the Enterprise never looked better. The V'ger looks amazing. The detail and crispness that goes into it. I noticed on the Kirk and Spock tour around the Enterprise, you can read a lot of the little print on the Enterprise and things like that. To me too, and they could have just taken this recolor timed it, regraded it, cleaned up the dirt and whatnot like they did, and remastered the score. Bruce Botnick did an incredible job remastering Jerry Goldsmith's score, and it just they the first thing I noticed is there's a lot of bass, and it just kind of it rumbles now. It has a lot of depth. The sound and the color added to this remaster makes it look like something that was just made, like in the last year or two. It doesn't look like a dated film whatsoever. It doesn't sound like a dated film whatsoever. And part of that also, let me just quickly go back. Part of that also is that they found the original ADR. For those of you who don't know what ADR is, it's auto dialogue replacement, automatic dialogue replacement. So basically, because there was a lot of noise on set when they were miking the actors, and the displays on the bridge in particular, all the animated displays or things that are going on those screens were actually projected using 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter film projectors. So they were making a lot of noise. So most of that dialogue, if not all the dialogue, was completely unusable in a lot of those situations. So the actors would come in and they'd watch the scene, and you have to record your dialogue again and try to match the lip sync. And of course, that takes a lot of time and trial and error and whatnot. And there's different inflections a lot of times, and they found a lot of that, and they were able to put it back in. I noticed immediately in scenes like um, when Kirk first comes to Starfleet and he gets off the shuttle and he sees Commander Sonak. That dialogue sounds really clean and really crisp, where before it sounded like they were talking like through, something like muted through a bucket or something. I also noticed when the first attack from the V'ger probe comes in where it kills Ilea, uh, Decker says to Chekhov, "Don't interfere," and Chekhov says, "Absolutely, I will not interfere." I always remember that dialogue from Chekhov being completely overdriven. Actually, Stephen Collins' dialogue was a little overdriven too, and it's very clean here, very very clean. So the sound mix is just amazing. And to me, they could have stopped with the color grading, the restoration, and the sound mix, and I would have been happy as a clam right there. But to be able to go in now too and have added special effects, so you've probably seen this to death, but I'll just show it one more time. This was the Director's Edition 2001, and this is the limitation of standard def video. You lose a lot of the detail. You can see in the V'ger stairs, or whatever you would call those, the platforms that are emerging from V'ger to the Enterprise. The Enterprise itself shrouded in darkness, and then the detail that can be brought out just re-rendering it in 4K, and you taking advantage of the dynamic range that HDR offers in 4K just immediately just makes a huge difference. And the other example used in this was all in the trailer, was when V'ger enters Earth orbit and the cloud dissipates. We actually, Darren and the guys, built off the storyboard designs the actual V'ger model that we should have seen in 1979. And again, it's very dark, shrouded in cloud, shrouded in darkness, because you can't really pop the details in standard definition. But in 4K, you certainly can. So, um, yeah, just those little things. And one thing I really noticed, there's a couple of little added bits, and people who have watched the motion picture as often as I have probably saw a couple new things. And one of them to me was, I jumped up, I just jumped straight up, was when they pass through V'ger. Some people call that sequence long, and I got to say, now that you can see all of V'ger and the detail of V'ger, Doesn't feel very long at all. So they pass right over the top and they come off the back side. And in the theatrical cut and in previous cut, all previous cuts, it was a very wide shot of the Enterprise about this big on the screen, and it leaves V'ger and it's in the blue cloud. Well, now I noticed right away in this 4K version, the Enterprise clears V'ger and turns around to face the back end of V'ger, which makes perfect sense because Kirk gives the order to take the parallel course and then wrap around, and they end up getting pulled in through the back door, if you will, by a tractor beam following that. So it's a little thing, but it just ties the whole narrative together. And maybe I'm one of the few nerdy people who jumped off the couch pointing at that to nobody. Look, it turned around. But this is the complete version of the film. This is amazing to me. And here's one more that I want to show you. It's let me just get rid of all these images behind here. So there's the 2001 image leaving the space dock, and there it is with the Earth superimposed back into the, of course. So you'll notice too, the displays on the wall of the dry dock are lit up a little brighter you can see a lot of detail in the markings on it and whatnot. So just a brilliant job. So this was the team, the primary team. Dave Fine in the middle, Darren Doctorman on the screen right, and Mike Mendocino on screen left. They did a phenomenal job. Hats off, guys, because to me, this is the way the film was intended. Robert Wise is probably smiling down on you guys, and what can I say? I've always loved this film. And the theatrical version, I saw it twice in the theater, once when it came out as a kid, and again now as an adult. They did it for the 40th anniversary 2 years ago. Fathom Events, who are going to release this director's edition in theaters, and I suggest everybody get out and see it. But it finally feels like the movie that Gene Roddenberry and Robert Wise and everyone intended us to see. I got goosebumps when I sat through the credits and it ended. It says "For Bob" at the end, and I won't lie to you, I sat in silence for a minute or two, and my eyes were welled up with tears. It was just amazing. So, real quick, if you don't know, apparently Paramount has made the remastered soundtrack from Jerry Goldsmith available. You can download it here off the Paramount Music website, or you can go get the CD set from La La Land Records. And I really honestly suggest that you guys tune into this Friday, this April 8th, this edition of the Inglorious Trexperts. One of the co-hosts is Darren Doctorman, and Darren talks a lot about putting this together. So it's a great listen, straight from the horse's mouth. And if you really enjoyed the director's edition, then I suggest you give that a listen. So that's it from me. My feelings, I think, are pretty clear. You can see it on behind me. Don't give me another strike, Paramount. I already got one concerning this. But yeah, it's perfect. And I'm going to watch it a lot more. I can't wait to go see it in the theater. And I cannot wait to buy the 4K Blu-ray because I have a feeling there's going to be some special features on there that we're going to want to see. So, yeah. Anyway, great movie with a really fascinating history. And it took 20 years since the last director's edition. But as Mark Altman said on this episode of the Inglorious Trexperts, it seems like the 2001 DVD edition was a proof of concept to go ahead and do this when the technology matured enough. So anyway, that's it for me. Talk to you guys soon. Please give a thumbs up if you like the video, give a thumbs down. Please comment. You guys have been flooding me with some great comments. I appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. It only helps the channel grow. And I'm going to go watch this as much as I can before I got to go. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up below. Also, please subscribe to GeekTime TV. It really helps us grow the channel. And make sure you hit that bell icon in order to receive notifications every time we drop new content here. You can also check us out on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at GeekTimeNet. Thanks again for watching. We will see you soon.
Say, kids, what time is that?